Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play. We're diving right back into Elite Zoo South. Now, today's plans might come as a bit of a surprise for some of you, and honestly, I guess they're coming as a bit of a surprise for me as well, and that's not the first time that's happened in the last, handful of weeks, but I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been mulling over this ever since the last episode released. And there was a comment actually in the in last episode's comment section that I think triggered the sort of snowball effect of figuring out what I need to do or realizing what I need to do as the next step. So I hope y'all don't mind, of course, that I'm throwing in a bit of a surprise again. It worked out well last time, so hopefully it'll work out well this time. But we are adding a new animal today. It's one we've talked about previously. I'm sure the thumbnail and the title have given it away already, one way or another. But we are adding a new animal today. It is an extremely exciting time for me because I am personally pretty excited for our plans for this area. We've talked about it at length previously. I don't want to talk about it too much before we actually start the time-lapse, obviously. That's a bad habit I'm trying to break. But we are going to get the zebras in today. And we might get the zebras and the giraffes in both. But at least going to get the zebras in today. Today's episode focus is going to be the zebras. We're going to read about them, take a look around really quickly first, read about the zebras, get these zebras into their... Oh, sorry, don't get them in first. Read about the zebras, build their space over here and the space around their space, get the zebras in, and then next session, undoubtedly, when we have to finish this space off, we'll add the giraffes as well, because just as a reminder, we're trying to create a shared space for them. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I'm switching gears to here, moving away from all of our lemur work, and it is because so I think what's happened is I just need a bit of a change of scenery, basically. I've gotten pretty familiar with this space. I've gotten maybe somewhat complacent with this space, and there was a comment that mentioned last session that maybe I just need to kind of like step away from it, take a break from it, come back with a fresh set of eyes and a fresh mind, and then tackle any issues that I noticed then, and maybe I'll have a fresh take on it. And I've done this many times in the past. I did it very often with Elite Zoo North. I've done it from time to time with Elite Zoo South as well. I really do think it helps a lot to step away from something from time to time, and come back to it afterwards with a fresh set of eyes. Now you might be thinking, well, when I'm not recording for a day or what have you, then when I come back, surely it's fresh eyes. Not actually, because again, just kind of explaining my thought process here. When I sit down to play Planet Zoo, I've got like my Planet Zoo hat on, so to speak. And so my brain goes back to where I was the last time I was doing Planet Zoo. If I didn't do that, then I would start every session and I'd be confused. I'd be like, what were we doing again? But because fortunately I'm able to, put that hat on and switch gears, I'm like, oh, right, I remember, more or less, not always exactly, but more or less where we were. But with that gift comes the curse of feeling that same kind of creative fatigue, if you will. So I think it's a great idea to step away from here again. I do that from time to time. I think now's the time to do that. Switch over a little bit to our to our plans over here, and then we'll come back shortly thereafter. So I think the next 2 sessions we'll spend up over here. Now, to those of you sending memes my way on Twitter, which by the way, absolutely hilarious. made the weekend that much brighter. Keep them coming. But yes, so the warthogs have been a little, as we were talking about last session or maybe 2 sessions ago now, been a little neglected. But by doing this kind of zebra giraffe area, we'll be sort of focusing in this area again, and we'll start seeing the shape of it come together, and then we're going to be able to dive back into the warthog space as well and make sure it all marries together nicely. Again, for the longest time, this was just going to be a giant ravine, right, or a gorge or what have you, but that evolved as an idea, so I want to make sure everything evolves together so it doesn't feel like it's just been jammed together. That's something I always try to avoid, so I hope y'all understand the plan there. Now, some of y'all mentioned it would have been nice to go to Australia because it's been left alone for so very long, and I do not disagree. I'm just trying to balance out a couple of things. One of the things I'm trying to balance out is, of course, the fact that there's like 30 plus, African animals to go, and then there's, just 2 more Australian animals, 2 more Australian exhibits, and 2 more Australian enclosures, and 1 more Australian exhibit to go. Phew, that took effort to express my thoughts there, but there you have it. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of, that's where my mind is at. But I definitely want to come back here. I want to get the dingoes in. I want to get, I want to do the whole dingo, West African dog hyena thing we've talked about a couple times to get the cassowaries down over here. Like there's plans for the spaces, just a matter of timing those correctly. The other thing about doing work over here in the Australia section is that it would bring more people to the area. So it is, you know, I would say it's on the higher end of my priorities, but the reason why zebras and giraffes are overtaking them is because I have a plan right now that I want to try and execute, and I also have some concerns with regards to just this join over here. I'm not very worried about the Australia-Africa connection, but I'm a little worried about, ironically, the Africa-Africa connection. So just want to work on this a little bit, and I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a fun time. I think it'll be a very different enclosure from the one we've been working on. It'll be a lot more kind of natural with some constructed elements as well. It'll be a lot more natural. But that, I think, is all of the kind of introductory rambling I have to do. The time of day is actually perfect for a time lapse over here. So I'm actually not going to hit play right now. I think we'll take a look at the animals, like details on Zoopedia, dive into our time lapse, and then we'll hit play, of course, get the animals in. One thing I want to check actually really quickly is if we go to the Animal Trade Center over here, I want to check very quickly, first of all, our trade history. Did we... Anawak and Chimali did not trade. 1250 and 1500. We could try it again. That's why I wanted. That's one of the things I wanted to check over here. So, Anawak and Chimali. Probably butchering those pronunciations, and I apologize. Is it Chimai? I don't know actually, but where are you? So let's go ahead. Let's try 1250 again. I think that's a reason. 1250. Whoa, that is not 1250. There we go. Trade you and trade you again. Different time of day. Different day of the. Well, it's not a different day, but different time of day. Maybe it'll make all the difference it needs to make. Also, sometimes people just aren't playing the game. And maybe some of you picked it up during the sale. I believe it's on sale. Well, when this releases, I don't know if it's still on sale. Steam sale. You should be able to pick it up from my link as well, nexus.g/partyelite. I should include the link. I think the link is included in the description down below. I'll make sure it is. You'll be able to pick it up there as well. I believe it's on sale there too. But, you know, maybe if you already picked the game up on sale and these come across at what I would say is a decent price, then there you have it. Not going to do a lot of trading today, though. It's not a trade session, nor am I in a rush to trade many of our animals. I mainly came here to make sure, yes, all of the cubs are now at the enclosure over here. Saw a comment last session, I believe it was, about getting all the cubs back. We do have them back in. We did it 2 sessions ago, but just because the game was paused, it didn't show up. Now, Abeo over here actually looks quite nice. Dark sandy fur with dark long hairs. I just noticed the coloration there. Oh, and what's about to happen here? It hasn't been like updated or anything. Maybe just my eyes have adjusted to the lions. I don't know. They look. I don't know. She stood out over here. Stood out over here a little bit for me for some reason. Sorry, I digress. I digress as I often do. What do we have over here? Some low welfare. I feel like this is paused. Oh, actually, seeing nourishment down here reminds me. Something that I definitely want to do. Completely slipped my mind, so thank you very much for pointing it out. Again, as I say always, folks, I do, in fact, read through all the comments, except for the occasional time when I'm unable to, and at that time, I always mention. But I do read all the comments, because y'all will notice things or remember things that slip my mind because I'm trying to juggle many things or what have you, so... It was pointed out in the comments, and I wouldn't have noticed this if it wasn't pointed out in the comments, our food quality is still grade 1, because we set it to grade 1 when we were having financial difficulties. Then we realized that the financial difficulties were stemming from not our mismanagement, but other issues. So, you know, we switched to medium difficulty, but that means we can more than afford high-quality food for all of our animals. So let's get that going, shall we? It's also been pointed out to me that apparently popping balloons that have flown away gives you conservation credits. You get 2 conservation credits for every flyaway balloon that you pop, which I kind of like. It's kind of funny. It's like, you know, you're preventing it from getting away and polluting the atmosphere, I guess, is the idea there. I don't know. It's like a little mini game hidden in there. I haven't tested it yet. It's just been mentioned, and I do want to try it out. Now, hopefully we'll see some capuchin babies over here, because it's been a while, and we've got some new males and females, so hopefully it'll be soon. And it's also pointed out, actually, that the baby llama in a long time. And I want to make sure we're good over there. So let's go ahead and get you guys on grade 3. Vegetarians, I guess. Is it because you already have your mates and you're not willing? That's not good. So you two are infertile, but you are good. You have an existing mate. I think we need to get some more. I think we need to get some more female llamas, actually. Because we haven't had baby llamas in a long time. Yep. That book, was it? No. Social. Manta, let's go ahead and maybe send you. Yeah, it always hurts to... Well, it doesn't hurt as much to rehome as it does to release to the wild prematurely, you know? For the good of the herd, really. Sure. Let's rehome you, buddy. Good to us. Time to bid you. At least it's not. The reason why I'm more okay with that than releasing to the wild at old age, at infertile ages, is because, rather at old ages, I should say. If they're infertile, you can always rehome them. Rehoming is fine because at least they're ending up somewhere where they're well taken care of and, you know, kind of see their waning days comfortably. Whereas releasing to the wild, old animal, kind of don't know, you know, what happen. I don't know. Well, look at that. Look at that. 0% immunity and 17% immunity. But because of how the genetics line up, 100% almost guaranteed over here. Wild. Okay, that's actually not a bad. Mostly potential. Hopefully that won't. Have another female as well. I do think I might need some more female. Kawa. Oh, current mate is... Oh, no, he's still full of baby making age. Get to work. I need to get to work. I could get another female. Let's maybe get one more, shall we? Market. Species. I want to look at some llamas. Female llamas. I know, a bit of a distraction. Important one, I would say. His genes are not that good. Neither are these. Not willing to part with almost 2,500 conservation credits for these genetics. Go ahead and adopt you. Again, not the greatest, but we'll see if we can't work it up. Get you quarantine here. And let's also take a quick look at zebras. I said that's what we're going to focus on today. And then the giraffes potentially next time. Now, those of you wondering, in case you don't remember, the reason why I'm talking about those as a pair, oh, of course, they're not just Z for zebra. Or zebra, if you will. What is your plains? Trading. Market. E for plains zebra. Where are you at? Where are you at? There we go. Good options? Oh yeah, we got some good options. Safari. They're pricey, eh? They're pricey. They're not cheap. Go ahead and pick you up. Ranako. Good genes. Very cheap. Gold standard. Glad I checked. Move you quarantine as well. We have a gold standard female zebra available. Not at present. Not that I can see. What if we just set it to conservation credits? I don't think cash is ever a gold rank. The highest we have is silver. A Luna here. I say we wait. Take the chance. Let's wait. And let's start talking about the animals themselves. Now, yeah, so those of you who don't recall, There is the interspecies enrichment. There's quite a bit of interspecies enrichment, but it's been suggested to me that having too many of them together can be problematic. And I also don't want to... I don't want to just do, like, one enclosure with 100 animals, you know? Like, I don't know, that feels... I mean, we could have fun with it. Maybe this ends up being 3 animals if it's too large a space, but for now the plan is zebras and giraffes. And that should do the trick over here. And that allows us to expand a bit more with some other animals and whatnot. I've got plans over here already. But yeah, that allows us to expand a bit more rather than condense like 5 or 6 or however many animals in space. I mean, the warthogs as well are going to share their space with another animal. Yeah, I think that works. Anyway, let's take a look at the animal. So, the plains zebra here. Equus quagga? God, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Near threatened. So that's, yeah, they're not actually in the clear here. They are still in a degree of trouble. The plains zebra, or Equus quagga, is native to eastern and southern Africa, preferring to live in easy water sources on the savanna. The species is divided into 6 subspecies, separated due to different features, usually varying stripe patterns, and lack of interbreeding between groups. Plains zebra have the black and white stripes famous of all zebra, but are smaller than Grevy's zebra or Grevy's zebra, right? And larger than mountain zebra. I did not know there was so much variety of zebras. Males and females can both be 3.6 feet to 4.8 feet in height and between 7.2 and 8.2 feet in length, although males are generally 10% larger than females. The species population is stable but near threatened status. Excessive hunting has pushed one subspecies of plains zebra, the quagga, to extinction. I don't know. Extinction or to near it? This remains a problem for others, all of which are desirable to hunters for their skins. Zebra also rely on migration paths, which have been known to become blocked by man-made fences and walls, preventing them from reaching areas with food and water during the dry season. Many zebra live within national parks where they are protected, but they are a far-ranging species and may move out of protected areas during migrations. When in national parks, there are concerted efforts to prevent poaching. So hang on, so the quagga is extinct, but is this not the quagga? Is there a... Or is there such a thing as the Equus quagga quagga? Is that the implication here? Anyway, okay, interesting. Learned a little bit there. Let's take a look at their natural habitat over here, of course. Pretty widespread, and again, they do have very far-ranging migratory patterns. It looks like we have... this kind of actually works out geographically as well. We've got our lemurs, right, from Madagascar, and then right next to them, we've got our zebras. So it kind of works out nicely in with that regard as well. It is the grassland biome, which is difficult to work with at times, I would say, for myself personally, because the limitation to vegetation can be just difficult to work around in terms of beautification and whatnot, in terms of natural spaces. So I'm excited for that challenge. I hope I can pull it off nicely. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully these animals aren't too averse to densely forested areas either, because that way we can still use trees, and they won't be upset. They'll be a little bothered, but they won't be super upset that we have to worry about it. Though I try to avoid doing that as much as possible. 510 meters square, so they definitely need a decent bit of space actually. Like, let's see, what is the size on this over here? This is 932. Okay, so you know what? Like, they need like this much, but they're sharing it with the giraffe as well. So I don't mind them having more than that space. Now, a lot of this space is going to be the little plaza we've talked about previously. The food and drink stalls over here might even extend this a little bit. So that's fine. And then, of course, got... It's gonna be interesting. It'll be a little bit on the larger side. We might cut it short by a touch, and then maybe we end up doing the gorge over here. It would be a very small gorge, but I might want to cut this a little shorter than I'd initially planned. Well, let's check actually, since we know for a fact they're gonna share the space. See, okay, the giraffe requires a fair bit of space, so maybe we do in fact keep area as planned. Okay, fair enough. Glad I checked. Plain zebra, back to you. Alright, so the species data. 3 to 6, okay, up to 1 male, up to 5 females. Fair enough, fair enough. Dominance is 1 dominant male per group. Females ranked by age. Very interesting. Polygamous. Confident relationship with humans, but they cannot enter the habitat. 4.3 feet tall at shoulders for both. 25 years of age is the life expectancy. 638 and 594 pounds. I guess that's the roughly 10% bigger that we're talking about. Give or take, obviously. Actually, pretty close. Age of sexual maturity is 4 years. Sterility at death. 1 offspring per mating event. 13-month gestation, 12-month interbirth, but very easy reproduction. Now, we've been having more trouble with reproduction with Elite Zoo South. I'm guessing it's because of changes to, various aspects of how the game works. I actually like it. Because again, it's part of the game, right? It's like making sure these animals are actually reproducing and stuff like that. And Elite Zoo North, it was just a constant, we just always had babies, we always had, it was always happening. Whereas here, there have been at least like 2 or 3 times where I've been like, what's going on? Why don't we have babies coming over here? And it is because of me. I've made mistakes. There's been mismanagement, not major problems, but like, oh, these ratios are off, or oh, we don't have, proper ages or matches or whatnot. And I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed having to go back and check from time to time. So even with very easy, it's not necessarily like silly easy, I guess. I'm trying to find the best way to put it. So we'll see what challenges the zebra. Now, social needs. Plain zebra, hold on. Plain zebra. What is the plural of zebra? Zebras, right? Right? Hold on, am I? Trying to look for like... Hang on a second. Is the plural of zebra just zebra? I need to know. I need to know because now I'm completely thrown off. Is it one of those words, No, okay, plural is... Oh, plural is both. Well, that's interesting. Learn something new every day. Yeah, plural is zebra or zebras. Just another day of learning with Party Elite and learning for Party Elite. Learn something new every day. Plain zebra or zebras live in. That's so cool. Okay, I'm sorry. I like learning. Plain zebra live in cohesive herds in the wild, which can be composed of several harems that consist of 1 stallion, several females, and their young offspring. Young males that have not yet gained their own harem live in bachelor herds. Females within a harem have a hierarchy depending on how long they have been with the stallion. The female that joined the stallion first is the alpha female. So, very interesting. I assume the harem is the, official term used by zoologists and stuff. Very interesting over here as well. The term harem is probably one of the most appropriated words. I'm not going to get into it right now because it'll set me off on a long rant. This is obviously nothing against the game or anything like this. I'm sure this is the official term, which is why they've used it. But it's an interesting word because it means something that it doesn't mean where the word originates. Fascinating bit of history there. Reproduction. Male zebra acquire a... Yo, what's with the air quotes, man? That's sketchy. Those quotation marks sketch me out. Male zebra acquire a young female by approaching her while in her family herd when she first reaches sexual maturity. He must challenge, fight... Oh, dude, this is so cool. He must challenge, fight, and subdue her father to win the female, who will then join him. What? Other males may also attempt to steal her. The stallion that first mates with the female is the one she will remain with. Female zebra are pregnant for 12 to 14 months and give birth to 1 foal. Female foals remain with their natal herd until they join an unrelated male, whereas male foals leave their mother when she has another foal to join a bachelor herd of other young males. That's so different from any other animal we've read about. I don't think we've read that even once before. Not fighting fighting other males as well, I assume, but having to fight the father of a sexually mature female animal. I don't think I've ever heard of that as a thing in nature. I mean, if y'all have more examples of that, feel free to share, but that is super interesting and super, super cool. That's, huh. Yeah, that's really cool. Interesting. Okay. You have to wonder, what are the animals, you know, thinking? Like, these are relationships that, you know, many times we say is like, oh, you know, these are, you know, animals don't care for their young after a certain age and stuff like that. Like, we say that kind of stuff all the time. We assume that kind of stuff all the time about certain animals. And in some cases, it is true. After a certain age, it's like, okay, you're on your own now. Yeah, depending, yeah, some humans do that too. But this is, like, you know, there's something going on there for that relationship to exist at that, in that way, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, that's fascinating to me. I want to read more into that. I love Zoopedia. I mentioned this on the lead up to the release of the game as well, that the Zoopedia was going to be one of my favorite things about the game, because I love learning through video games. To me, it's one of those, I don't mean edutainment, you know, those games that like make learning bad somehow through video games. I mean stuff like this. This is like, I love this stuff. I hope y'all don't mind my, like, just, you know, going through these. I've seen many of you do enjoy it, so I'm glad to hear that. I wish I'd done that during Elite Zoo North as well. Interspecies enrichment we've already seen. World records, none that we've set just quite yet, with you know, our world record 0 number of zebra and or zebras. Man, even that just blows my mind. you live your whole life saying things a certain way, assuming things a certain way, and then all it takes is a moment of playing Planet Zoo and you go, whoa, what? Anyway, folks, enough talk right now. I think we're good to go ahead. Lighting's looking pretty good. We will have to adjust the terrain a little bit again. So we're going to be adjusting the terrain. We're going to be adjusting the terrain up over here as well, preparing for the exploration of the space to come. I did actually get a wonderful list of exhibit animals that we'd like to include in Africa as well. It's actually not that many. Let me very quickly just touch on them so we are just on the same page. The reason why I'm going to touch on this is, well, I'll tell you why afterwards. But we've got the, now let me know if I've missed any. Let me know if any have been missed. This is pulled directly from a comment, so again, thank you very much for that. We've got the giant tiger land snail. Cool. Which is, yeah, okay, fair enough. We've got the Goliath beetle. We know the Goliath beetle and the Goliath, I believe, frog, right? Yeah, Goliath beetle, the Goliath frog. There, yep, that looks good. And then we've got the puff adder. All right. All we have. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. If there is more, feel free to correct me. But going with that, do I want to put them all in over here like I was talking about last session, or up over here like I was talking about a handful of sessions ago, to draw more customers? Because, see, if we're going to pull them from here out, or maybe from here out to like a plaza over here to eat and whatnot and to look at this enclosure, I guess giraffes and zebras might be enough to draw people out. Don't need the exhibits up over here. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn about the exhibits, so I'd be curious to know what y'all think. But I think that's enough talk for now. For sure this time. Yeah, I think we're good to dive into our time lapse. So it'll be an interesting challenge. I'm looking forward to this one for sure. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I hope y'all are excited, because I certainly am. Folks, it's time lapse time. All right, folks. I gotta say, I am really quite happy that I changed gears for this episode. It absolutely let me kind of like walk away, tackle something fresh, and honestly, I'm very pleased with how things go. Not just with what I had planned, but also with what I just sort of thought of on a whim as I was building the space out. Now, again, as always, and I honestly, I feel like I shouldn't have to mention this because y'all know by now, but as always, this is not going to bring this space to completion, because we want to get the animals in, we want to see how they interact with the space, and then next session we're going to actually bring this to its, hopefully that's all the time it'll take for us to bring this to its final form, as it were. But yes, we start with establishing the, why am I wiggling the mouse around like that? This was me planning out, confusing myself over here. That was me planning out exactly how the animals in the area are going to be laid out, or how I might end up laying them out. and so where I should put this ride down. In fact, I think it's a little different from where I had originally planned to put the ride down, which is why I was reconsidering the layout. Yeah, I was just like, what am I doing here? That's what it was. I was trying to figure out what my plans were for the space. But yeah, so there's a couple things we do that, well, rather I should say, it's all on task, but the task evolves while I'm working away at it because, I mean, to me, that's the most fun, is when you start problem solving and you realize alternative ways to solve a problem that is better or, you know, different than what you'd originally planned, and you go, well, why not, let's try it, and it ends up being better. So a lot of that going on with today's time lapse, and that makes me really happy to see and just do, because it's, again, I like that sense of preparation while construction. There's that perfect balance between those moments and the moments where it's like, I know exactly what I'm doing, I'm going in, I'm executing that, done, cool, farewell, you know, put a pin in it, it's done. Stick a fork in it, I guess, it's done. Because when you put a pin in something, it means it's not done, you go back to it. Anyway, linguistic errors aside, I really like today's time lapse, and I hope you all do as well. I mean, a big part of it is spent establishing the ride over here. I wanted to make sure it was relatively short. I wanted to make sure it was easy to get on and off of course. I didn't want an extremely long, you know, distance to travel. I want it to be en route. I want it to be like, oh, you know what? I'll take the boat instead. That kind of a thing, I suppose. So it took my time, you know, establishing this because, again, the last time we did a boat ride at Elite Zoo North, I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, and I still love it. It's maybe one of my favorite ride experiences that we've built so far across both zoos, but I certainly learned my lesson about making it overly complex. Yet, at the same time, this is an zoo, and we're dealing with Party Elite over here, so that means that I can't keep things too simple. So you'll see me trying to, like, you know, juggle those two factors, and try to make sure that it is interesting, but also not to the point that anytime we have to make an adjustment, everything's broken and cry myself to sleep that night. But yeah, it does end up taking a fair bit of time just to make it all, you know, place. And I mean, I consider this all part of, this was all part of the plan as well. I think I mentioned this before the time lapse, that I do want to make sure that our boat ride fits and that it works, because that was a big part of this entire space. And we have to obviously figure out how we're going to connect it to the upstairs, as it were. It's also, again, initially the plan was to make a gradual slope up, connect, you know, Africa West to Africa Center. We were going to have a gradual slope, but this allows us to do the very hard kind of set of stairs alongside an elevator as well. Of course, now the elevator we don't do today. I'm actually thinking of doing another glass elevator, because I feel like what an experience it would be to have these animals like roaming around you, maybe curiously investigating the elevator as you're going up the elevator. Like, what an experience, right? Like, what an experience. So I really want to do that, so I want to spend some time figuring it out, figuring out like what pieces I want to use for it. Didn't have the time for it today, but it is obviously top of mind as the part of probably the next lapse that we do in this area. Over here as well, just at the top, I just want to explain the situation. I have the back path there, which is going to connect to a bunch of like vendor stalls and maybe even exhibits and things like that. Not 100% settled, but the, by the way, I'm just using that toilet block as a measuring stick as to where the elevator might be, base it might. But yeah, so that back path is where all the vendors will be and where all of the, you know, toilet blocks, ATM. I need to put more. I always forget to put down ATMs, but ATMs, things like that. And then this outer layer, the one that's sort of hanging over the space, that will either double as hard shelter as well as like a picnic space, you know, a place to sit down, kind of like what we're doing with the waterfall next to the Aldabra tortoises, kind of like that, where you grab a quick bite, you grab your drinks and whatnot, you sit down at a picnic bench, and you enjoy the animals, you enjoy the view, you just enjoy a small short break, and then you kindly put all your litter away at the closest trash can. A decent thing to do. But that's the plan with this, you know, kind of double strip over here. I kind of like how it looks with a slight gap between like the two sets of paths, and you'll see me do it a couple more times in this time lapse. I don't know, there's something about it. It allows us to maybe, you know, sneak some statue, something in there. It allows us to do something to make a bit of a separator and feel a bit more confident that the guests aren't going to get stuck. Not that that matters anymore. Again, in medium difficulty, all those little nuisances don't really matter because it's not the end of the world kind of a thing. So, you know, we can get a bit more creative. We can have a bit more fun with that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can see I am using the height of the terrain as a method of blocking animal access to to anywhere else. Just, you know, again, going into that, it's not a gorge anymore, but going into that, looking down at the animals from up on high, particularly inspired by the giraffe, of course. I was trying to stick to that, and so using the height situation across the board all around the enclosure for that purpose. Here you can see me making some adjustments to the plans, of course, because I do need to make sure the keepers are able to deliver what needs delivering in the area, including the animal itself, so you can see a new plan for where the elevator might go, and still hoping that the animals would be quite curious about what's going on. Start climbing up. I think it would be an awesome experience. But that's just me. Y'all let me know what you think, of course, as always. Now over here, again, getting the actual barrier and stuff done. I do make some adjustments to what you're about to see right now, but overall, we do all right in terms of predicting the escapability of the animal. I would say, you could say we've earned our stripes over the course of how many episodes has it been now? but yeah, like it feels pretty good just to be able to. Again, we do have to make some adjustments, but some of those things are unpredictable. I mean, you could go the hard route, which would never fail, but by doing that, we reduce the opportunity for experiment. There are a couple of things that need fixing when we get the animal in terms of escape, but overall, we do a pretty good job of it, so that feels good. But I do make some adjustments as well, just as a result of new preferences, especially with regards to the access to water by the boat ride. And again, I might revisit that next session as well. I don't know if I'm entirely happy with the end result I come up with at the end of today's, so that might get some work done. I do want to look at some more references as well with regards to how rock faces look. I mean, this is not looking right at all. I definitely need to do a bit more research, find a bit more reference in how a facade of rock breaks and adds like dimensionality and stuff to it, and how I can replicate that with the actual game pieces. Again, it's one thing, you know, to see references, is another thing to translate those references to actual, you know, in-game spaces that feel like those references. So I think I'm probably gonna have some struggle with that, and you can see me here planning something that I will actually execute after the time. I was second guessing myself, but we do add another source of water. But before we do that, which again happens after the time lapse, I toy around with another viewing platform over here. I figured, you know what, why not? Why not if you go all the way to Africa West? This, to me, in my head, is like a reference of like how much these animals tend to travel. So it's like, you know, you're able to see them from multiple spots because they travel so much. I don't know. It's just these little things that influence some decisions. But I thought it'd be nice that if you come off the train over here, you know, you're so close to these animals, why not be able to see them from over here as well? So I thought we'd do that and get some more stalls over here as well. Really excited for this space. I have some plans for this space. I wasn't able to execute today, of course, because it's a whole different thing. This was the kind of an unplanned detour, but I have plans for this space as well now that I kind of look back at it and I think about it, even just after this time lapse I'll mention too. So I'm excited for this space. I'm excited for the other kind of vendor space that we've created. I think what's going to happen is after, I think next session, we'll be completing the habitat itself and working a bit more on these vendor spaces and stuff. And I think after that, we're actually going to have a couple of beauty pass. I think we're going to have a beauty pass we're going to have a beauty pass and a lighting pass. Might even do like 2 beauty passes and a lighting pass. There's a lot that like of these kinds of spaces that need completing. Y'all let me know what you think about that in terms of a schedule. Again, it's a rough idea for a schedule. It's not set in stone, so let me know what you think. I'll mull over it myself as well, but this is more or less it for the time lapse today. I hope you like the new space. I hope you like the idea and feel I'm going for, but for the rest of it, regular speed. All right, folks, we are back from the time lapse, and what a time lapse it was. I honestly got a lot more done than I'd initially anticipated, and I know it might not feel that way because this really feels like barren land, but again, it's a grasslands animal. Well, it's a pair of grasslands animals. I want to really make sure that I understand their limitations, needs, and wants before I, get too far ahead of myself. But I thought it'd be good to, get this system set up over here, get our little riverboat ride working as well. That took a little bit longer than anticipated, but actually, that's a lie. I knew it was going to take some time to figure it out. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would take, but I also knew it would take longer than I thought it would take. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was going to take longer than I thought it would take, but I still didn't think it would take that long. And then it did take that long. So, do with that information what you will. There's still a lot of work to do over here. I'm actually really excited for this space. In fact, laying out, initially we were just going to have the viewing platform over here, but then looking at it, I thought it'd be really nice to have this viewing platform over here as well. We can do some fun stuff back over here just to decorate this space, add a little bit more vegetation, add a bit more of a lived-in look, I think is what I'm going to go for. And over here as well, I mean, I wasn't sure. The reason why I focused a bit more over here than I did over here was because I'm still not 100% sure exactly how far I want this enclosure to go, if I want it to go any further, how I want the stores, like the vendors and the stalls and whatnot, to lock up over here. And I don't know how I want to put a keeper hut potentially up over here either. Initially, I was thinking I could just kind of cut through on this level. I could just kind of like cut through the ground and connect to this, but you can see how far that is. Ridiculous. So I might want to actually try and sneak like a keeper hut or something up over here somewhere. Keeper hut and a staff room up over here. Find a way to sneak that in and connect it to the central area. And that way we have, easier access for our staff without it guests. By the way, I just want to answer a question I saw many episodes ago and I forgot to reply to it. Well, or rather, I guess, well, yeah, there's no other way to put it. It slipped my mind. The reason why I often call these guys vendors is because it's sort of a generic catch-all term whenever there's like a what do they call it, exhibition and stuff called exhibitions and conventions and things like that. Sometimes like the stalls will just be referred to as vendors, because they are. Wow, I can't explain it without using the word vendors or vending, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that's where that habit kind of comes from. It's like the stalls are also called vendors because the stall is from where the vendors are selling their goods and whatnot. Anyway, so I just wanted to explain that really quickly because it occurred to me while saying the previous sentence. And the other thing I wanted to explain really quickly, and I thought it'd be easier to do visually, is I have been asked how I do sort of precise placement with architectural pieces without using the grid, and it's a little bit of a cumbersome process. A very quick explanation here, folks. I hope y'all don't mind, sort of a quote-unquote live tutorial. But if you just get a wall piece up over here to use as an example, let's go ahead and do the mud wall pieces because I quite like how they look. And now, if you go ahead and snap a piece down, it kind of gets stuck, obviously, and then you get the grid, and you can only rotate, 90-degree rotations, right angles, which is unfortunate, but I understand the limitations and whatnot. Some of them have really cool, situations where they will create like a curved edge, like just the marginal curve edge. They'll beveled edge. Yes, that's the word. But outside of that, you actually have to exit the group. You have to manually rotate it, manually decide how you'd like the curvature to be, and then pop it down, and then group again. And now, if somebody knows a better way to do this, feel free to let me know because that would make my day. But that's how I do construction pieces. Individually, kind of like getting shapes and curves the way I want them to be. The unfortunate thing is, while you can select all of these pieces, again, I use I for the multiple selection tool, you can select all of these pieces and move them around just fine. That's fine. If you want to copy them, you can't. You have to do them individually, one at a time. So it's a little bit of an arduous process. I say this all the time, folks, but if you find yourself struggling with, creating stuff, don't let it get you down. It always looks faster than it actually is. Keep in mind that, whether it's myself or somebody else that you're watching, what's accomplished in 20 minutes is actually, what's accomplished in 20 minutes is potentially actually 2 or so hours worth of work. And I know when I first started, for me, a big thing was, how do people get these things done so quickly? It's taking me forever. And then I realized, well, no, they don't get it done quickly. It takes them long as well. It's just, it feels super quick. And also when you get familiar with the pieces and the parts, you start to get a sort of a rhythm going. You know what works, what doesn't work. And you see me all the time struggling with that stuff as well. You know, it's a thing that you never stop struggling with, at least in my opinion. There's always room to grow and learn, and it's just a matter of kind of doing and building the habits, and that speeds you up. Or if you build bad habits, like I sometimes do, it slows you down. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on those things. Now, there will be a lot of work to do over here in terms of the stonework and stuff as well, but I realized that, again, I want to see how the animal feels about the space and what we can do with the space, which is why I went ahead and built this section down over here, as well as the stuff I mentioned earlier. My apologies, I am checking boxes off in my head over here. Now, before we actually get the animal in, a box that I forgot to check in its entirety because I think I got distracted by something or the other, and I forget what it was now, but I forgot to check all the other animals about their food quality. So I really quickly want to do that. Actually, before I do that, really quickly want... Any adults in here? Track you up. That's... who is the mom right now? And Atsi over here. Oh yeah, Atsi's good. Correctly, Atsi's amazing, in fact. One of you were giant anteater, so this one's definitely Atsi. That's... Alright, let's go ahead and get you trade center. Thank you. Today itself. Right, I know what I got distracted by. I got distracted by llama babies. That's what I got distracted by. Alright, cool. Not a problem. E6. Go ahead and make sure. Right, yep, grade 3 food quality over here. Recording hasn't crashed, looks like. If I sounded strangely hesitant as I said that last time, that explains why. Go ahead over rocks, over body food, excellent. Kangaroos, food quality, please and thank you. Issues over here, we have a bit of infertility, but overall we should. Okay, we did just get the new male. Mate with Jeddah, and Jeddah is in. Banalanzu is also in. Okay, fair enough. Just checking, just want to make sure. And over here, of course, are lovely koalas. Making babies, man. I need them to make babies. Come on, Benjamin, get to work. Frankie, man, come on now. A little bit of cooperation, if you catch my drift. But done. This is gonna get expensive by about 4K, but no, it's not. Let's we're fine. I think we're fine from a financial perspective. I think that's everyone, right? We got you guys, we got you guys, we got you guys, we got all of you guys. Actually, you know what? Can't recall. Downgrading had not been down. Okay. Got all of you. Yeah, you guys previously, or were you never downgraded? Stuff. Got you guys. We just checked. Done. I think we're good. All right. Let's go ahead and make sure that our work zones are set up here properly. Our work zones are set up here. This will be Africa. Well, let's set it up as center. Oh, this will be interesting. These are all center. Center is growing. We're going to make this into Africa. We also need to get Africa West over here. Africa West is going to include that. Those are the washroom elevators. It's going to include all of this. And it's going to include boat right over. Cool. I'm excited to see how all that works. And by the way, the water is all being filtered. Or not, we do have water filtration. I saw that asked a couple of times. One more thing I saw mentioned a couple times, actually, is the fact that we have had... What's happened to the inspectors? Come through, didn't like Llama Lane. Like, why don't we get notifications about the inspector anymore, right? When's the last time that happened? Sure, I'm not sure. Average animal welfare, I just noticed this. 82%, that is not bad. And part of it's, of course, because some of the animals... I guess with a higher quality food will be better. You know what I should check as well is the ticket prices. We've added so many new animals since we last changed the ticket prices. I'm sure we can raise them. Ticket price is good. I'm going to check more than just one person, obviously. You have to pick a side. Pick a side. Walk on the... I think it was told that in Australia it's on the left side. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe I was told in Australia you walk on the left. But, you know, pick a side, pick a lane. Pick a lane. I really don't want to leave yet. That's glad to hear that. No thoughts yet. I need more people who are coming through. Thoughts yet. Some people just came through. Ticket price is good. Ticket price is good. ATMs are free. Yes, ticket price is good. You over here, this guy, come on. Kid thinks. Well, the kid is glad that the choo-choo loo doesn't cost money, and the kid never wants to leave. What man think here? I can not pick it. Sure. Excuse me. All right. Great time. Let's get in. Yeah, ticket price is good. Let's go ahead and raise the prices. And actually click on turnstiles. Let's try 65 and try that. Right, cool. Go ahead and unpause. And all the waterfalls activated at the same time. That cleanliness is up over here. Let's call the for this. And yeah, so we're working towards the warthogs getting some love and attention. You're not. Ride is without power. Oh, damn. Not a problem, not a problem. Not a problem. We'll need power up over here anyway. Power up over here. I wonder if I were to create, if I were to put down a generator, transformer, sorry. I could put it down all the way up there and it would cover everything. The reason why I'm tempted to do that is because, like I said, I might want to put the keeper hut and staff room stuff up there. You know what? I think let's make a call here. Now, the worry is that the train ride goes by, so how will that adversely affect all their opinion? Oh, okay, fine. Temporarily, let's go ahead and get it. Could actually put this up over here. Because the elevator that we're going to build is going to be somewhere over here. And again, haven't forgotten our goals with accessibility, so that'll still be executed. Probably do that next session as we... You cover most of this area. Yeah, this is probably where all the vendors will be. I could, you know what I could do is I could put it on this side. So that begs the question, does it block the view and make it a little fun to... Not really, actually. I could put it over here instead also. This might be the nicest spot for it if the path actually can... I don't think it wants to. Oh, unless my height. Still, I don't think... Oh, maybe... Oh, okay. That work? There we go. That worked. Got something here. Ah, there we go. That works best, I think, because that way the vendors that we'll place over here are all covered. You've got the ride covered. Up over here, if we get the keep huts and stuff, we'll see about that. They might need the power supply. Animal has escaped. Let's get first done. Which animal? How? How have you escaped? What did we change here that allowed you to escape? All of our monkeys are... All of our monkeys are kind of funny. Hang on a second. What has happened here? I did not adjust the terrain over here. Habitat. Guess they're just able to jump this distance now. Okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead and flatten. I know I did a bit of adjusting, but I didn't realize I made that much. I did make it a bit of an adjustment. Got it? Here we go. I mean, I haven't lost. Funniest. I love the funny shape. Pull you up a little bit as well. There we go. That's absolutely hilarious. That ought to do it. Go ahead and get the rock up over. Eyes down, intent. Over here as well, maybe? Yeah, they're definitely escaping over here. Go ahead and raise that up. Wait anymore. Whoops. Okay, all good, all good, all good. Not the end of the world, not the end. Good. Go ahead and... Monkeys, man. Monkey business. Capture you, capture all these guys. Quarantine pass, I'll get you in a second. Capture you. Go ahead and move. I'm a lane. There it is. And you know what? I think next session... Well, maybe not next session, but the session after that. The next beauty pass, I want to go around and put down some names. for a while now, I've been like, oh, I'll wait until it's done, and then I'll put the name down. But then we keep doing this thing where it's just like, I need to step away and come back later. I think the next session, not the next session, sorry, because the next session will be completing this, but the session after that, when we do our beauty pass, the part of that, we're going to do lighting, we're going to do names. I think that's my thinking it for now. And actually, I should mention as well, considering this is the first episode of a new month, which I completely forgot about. Again, I try not to mention this too often, but again, once a month, I feel like is okay. I've been told I should mention it more, but I don't know. It's one of those things. Folks, what I'm getting at is, of course, the option to become a channel member or patron as a way to not only support the channel, which of course is always greatly appreciated, but also to become either a staff member at the zoo, or, reminder, we've got all of our, got all of our named staff members, so if you want to have your own name added to the list of staff here, or if you want to sponsor an animal as well, so, you know, get a little sponsor board with your name on it, depending on whichever animal you'd like to support. All you have to do is let me know. If you're a channel member, leave a comment down below, and I can see a little icon next to your name, and I'll know you're a channel member. Let me know what you would like as a sponsor for an animal, which animal it might be, or if you want to be a staff member as well. And if you're a patron on Patreon, the link for which is under the eye at the top right corner of the screen right now, then you can send me a private message on Patreon. I should mention as well, a link to Patreon is available at the top right corner over here. It's also available in the description down below, and to become a member, click the join button that's right underneath the video, or there's a link in the description as well. Man, I cannot believe it is already December. It's like it completely blew past me that the end of the year is coming, and that this is the start of a new month, the last month of 2020 even. But yeah, so folks, again, if you want to sponsor an animal or have a staff member named after yourself, or anybody really, you just want to get a name in there, let me know by either of those methods. And again, just as a reminder, it is a special perk for our channel members and patrons. So if you'd like to take advantage of those perks, just have to be a channel member or a patron. Oh man, look at this. This area is already being used. This is very nice to see. All right, let's get the zebra. I believe you passed your quarantine. Ride is without power. Which ride? Man, are you serious? Right out of just out of reach. Can I move? Not by enough. Like we'll need solar panel over there. Not a problem, but not my most important concern right now either. Got research complete. This is good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go ahead and get that. Keep it in here. Ranako. Move you in here. We need to get you a habitat 34. Here we go. And let's go ahead and take a look at animal. Animal trading, down over here. I was like, where is it? We need market, email, 770 doesn't sound like a bad price. That's well, oh sure, let's go. Let's go for it. Much Kenzie exotic. Quarantine with, and let's see how things go. Again, we really have to do a lot in terms of making sure the keepers are able to more easily provide for these animals over here, because they have a very long way to go. So that's why, again, we need the keeper hut and staff room up there. Babies. We haven't had babies. I had two. Have I? Ooh. Offspring imminent. Fair enough. Soon enough. About to have offspring. Not had offspring. Over here, we have a cleanliness issue again. One on. Do I need more keepers? I might need more. Which, fair. Man, it's so cool to see spaces get used immediately. This is fantastic. I was not expecting an instant response, but this was an instant response. It was clearly demand for stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, we're about to have a baby Western gorilla. Why are you running? Are you that bored of this incident? Not excited? Not hype? The one. Good stuff. 4. Stuff looks okay. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of climate control. temperatures are set properly. I had a feeling. Oh. First one, copied it over. I want to mention as well, by the way, I always forget to mention this, but if you already have an animal that you sponsored and you'd like to sponsor another one, you can totally do that. I keep it to one person per month, so I can spread the love and all that, but if you have like multiple animals that you would like to sponsor, you can absolutely do that. I keep forgetting to address that. I get asked that from time to time, and I appreciate the humbleness with which I get asked it. Like, hey, is it okay if 100%, 100%, and I should be much clearer about that, so I apologize. But yeah, let me know. And as I mentioned, comment if you're a member, private message on Patreon. Sorry for looping back to that. I realized it was something I've been meaning to mention for months now, and I keep thinking, so go ahead and get solar panel over here. Its sole purpose for now is to provide power to the ride here, but fear not, it'll have more to do in this area. Put you down over here again. Guests don't mind it, so that's cool. And the radius is quite good. That should be good for you. We might reposition it later, but for now this is good enough, and we will be activating this ride. Well, in fact, we could do it right now. Have Ranako in. Run, Frey, Ranako. Run, Nako. Let me just check really quickly here. Yeah, there are some escapes available. We can cut these off. To cut this off, we're definitely going to flatten to foundation, and got to make it steep. That definitely cuts this off. You can even see the lag as the game is trying to recalculate the situation. Trying to figure out how I want to block this. Probably just put, because they swim across. I'll need to put like a thing across here. These animal discovery. I haven't had that in a long time. Red ruffed lemur. Guess they might be prone to a disease creating tularemia. We've got it all researched, so that's all good. But that a vet was evidence of that. What's going on? Rest. I need to do a management on the animal. Yep, just run free. It's because the slope is too... Walk here. Gotta make it a bit more steep. Escape that way. The trouble, so to speak, will be... Well, one thing I want to do, actually... I was thinking about this during the time lapse as well. I kind of actually don't mind... Go ahead and do that. Honestly, need to... The movement button needs to be, like, given priority in terms of what hovers on top. It's just... I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who uses it. But it just feels like the one that would be most commonly used. Make minor adjustments. I feel like it'd be helpful. Many people have that be. Security guard, meanwhile, walking through over here. We need to add some more security cameras in the area. We'll definitely need to add. And education boards and all that. But like I always say, right, I want to make sure that going to space first. I want to check for escape routes and things like that. Done. One that stands out still is needing adjustment work. Is the done over here, rubbing their necks together. Okay, done. walk away from each other. Want to make sure. Had a failed. Doesn't say. Oh, I should be. I want her to mate, but. Well, that's unfortunate. But always, of course, send trade center and bring her back and get her looking for a different quarantine pass for Olubayo as well. Stuff. Oh man, that's. I got robbed. I didn't check the dates. It's okay. Well, it'll add to the animals in the space. It's not the end of the world. It was 100% intentional. Of course it was. I'm not upset about it. It's not ideal, but it's, add some more animals to the space. We'll go ahead and get. We'll go ahead and get another one. Yeah, the thing we have to concern ourselves with is, of course, the little area over here that they can kind of swim through. So, looks very disinterested in doing that. Buddy over here. You know, their natural blue and orange colors. Gotta find a way to prevent that, and I don't know how they're going to escape over here. They can... Behavior, I suppose. I mean, if the game highlights it, that means they can do it. God, it looks so beautiful. Everything else is fine. Just a couple more gaps to fill out. Absolutely beautiful. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. We've got the female en route right now. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at. Well, got research complete. Good stuff for the gorillas. I wanted to take a look at trading, and I wanted to get a female zebra who is not too old. Who did I thank again? I take it back. That's entirely on me. I kid, of course. Zebra. Sure that I've got your... But he is at death. Well then, how can you be old to... Oh, that ain't right. That ain't right. Something's up over here. I mean, again, I guess she's elderly, but they might still mate a couple times, right? That is still a thing. Bam. They can still mate. Only more females. You know what? I take back my taking back of the thank you. Thank you, Stan. Very old, though. Croak at any moment. Maybe we'll get a baby. Maybe. What needs adjusting? Space is more than enough. We're not surprised there, I'm sure. But we'll get some more zebras. We'll get the giraffes and stuff as well. And again, we got to put down the education boards. Make sure. Time over here. Grass. We need more short grass. Okay, fair enough. They'll take a bit of coverage, not a lot. We have to be very, very picky about it. We need to make sure as well, of course, that we get their hard shelter and all that stuff done. I think the hard shelter is going to be this space over here. So when they're resting, they'll have some privacy as well. But otherwise, when they're drinking here, when they're eating, they'll be out here. When they're playing, they'll be out here as well. So maybe when they're resting. Otherwise, the other thing we can do is, of course, give them like a little overhang or something. I would like it to be natural. And I do want to do a bit more research, actually, with regards to natural living spaces. The other thing I was thinking was that I could actually cut off their access to the water over here and make a little oasis type thing over here. Like kidney bean shaped oasis, which I thought would be really quite nice, which is what I'm leaning towards right now. We've got the filtration over here already, and actually seeing by just how much we have overshot their land requirements, and not just theirs, but also the giraffe, right? The giraffe needs like 1,000 something, so we're well over that. So I feel like, yeah, we'd actually make a little like kidney bean kind of a thing over here. In fact, you know what? Why not just do it? I think it's the right call. I would close this off. Well, we can't close it off entirely, because we need keepers to be able to deliver the animal from over. Close this section off. I don't think they can hop into. We'll do something with like box and stuff. Have it thing. Hideousness. Maybe we make the tunnel a bit longer or something. I don't know, we'll figure something out. but block their entrance over here. Might even just put the wooden stuff down. I don't know how I feel about that. Not 100% sure. Putting this down temporarily for now. But let's go ahead and make a little kidney bean. Why a kidney bean? I don't know. Just because it's the shape that comes to mind. Watch it not even be very close to... It's just a nice... It fits nicely, I find, and it feels a bit more like organic. And yeah. Water? Excellent. Make sure that it is sand over here. And this gives us like an excuse, so to speak. Need one. It gives us a reason to build a very nice green space over here. It's, again, the idea is it's an oasis, so we get some trees down, make it super vegetative, super covered in vegetation. Then we have our plains area over here where we'll have all the toys and stuff. They go drink there. Yeah. I like this. I like this. Cool. Okay, I love this. Well, a warm welcome to our newest members of the zoo. They look so beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. The artists in the game, just fantastic job across the board. Very pretty eyelashes. Always thought that about. Pretty sure zebras. I was gonna say horses as well, but beautiful animals. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this session. This is what we're gonna call it. If you did enjoy the session, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like, comment down below. As always, it makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, how I go about doing it, and what I do when I do it. Again, as always, the decision making largely influenced by your comments and your thoughts and your opinions and your suggestions, and just, how y'all make me feel. Like, for example, realizing that I should maybe shift gears momentarily, do something else, and then come back. And this is cool, too, because we are seeing, like, we're completing an entire zone of the zoo. Again, there's still a lot to do up over here, but it's a whole strip that's seeing some work done over here, which is exciting times. At least for me. I hope it is for you as well. Again, folks, if you enjoyed, you know what to do. And, of course, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.